Welcome to the only patient advocate podcast you'll ever need. In this podcast, you'll learn how to advocate for yourself and your family, and where to turn when if that becomes overwhelming. Now, here's your host, Joyce Schulz-Killian, registered nurse and owner of At Your Request Patient Advocate, LLC. She is your private patient advocate. Here at your request to communicate, educate, and advocate with and for you.
Hi, I'm Joyce Schulz-Killian, a registered nurse for 27 years and in healthcare since I was 18 years old. I'm the owner of At Your Request Patient Advocate, LLC. I'm here at your request because I am your private patient advocate, helping you navigate healthcare one puzzle piece at a time by educating, advocating, and communicating with and for you. I'm hoping to give you the tools you need to be your own best private advocate. Find me on Facebook at Your Request Patient Advocate, and on Instagram at JSKICURN, and on Twitter at RN Advocate for you. Hit like and subscribe and tell a friend. Today we are going to be talking about how to choose where to live when you can't stay at home. So according to whereyouLiveMatters.org, the move to senior living years ago was primarily made due to need. Typically, a health crisis forced the issue, but more active adults are making the move to senior living communities as a lifestyle choice so they can take advantage of the services, amenities, and opportunities now and know they have access to health services before they need them in the future. Those are the planners. If we could all only be planners. So if this is the position you find yourself in, whether you want to move or need to move, let's get started and talk about all your options. There are several options open to you and several types of accommodations available to you. There is independent living, assisted living, continuing care retirement community, memory care, and skilled care, if the need is more of a serious and medical nature. Each offers its own special attributes. You will find at different communities seniors participating in different activities, committees, programs, or clubs. These programs and options are as different as the communities are and set the tone for the environment of the community. So do your due diligence when checking out each community. It's not about being busy. It is about filling your life with experiences that bring you joy and fulfillment in these and your later years. Each community also has its own culture that is a compilation of all the different people that make up the community as well as the management that runs the community. Let's start with independent living. Independent living communities offer a life that you are in charge of. You can still come and go as you please, usually without telling anyone when you are leaving or where you are going. You can keep your car if you're still driving. These communities of independent living often offer activities and day trips that are planned, and some even offer extensive trips like overseas or to an opera or theater that are planned and guided by the community or another travel organization associated with the community. But the structure of these activities is all on an as-wanted basis by you, with little encouragement from any staff. Well, they might give you some encouragement, but they're not going to be beating your door down saying, hey, we want you to come to this activity. Maybe they will. You may get a handout of activities for the week, and then you can choose yourself what you would like to participate in. You will have an apartment of your choice, whether it is a studio, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, or 1-bedroom with a den. There are many options of the style of apartment to choose from. I know of some communities that also offer a townhome or a cottage-style living option for independent living, with options of other care, a +1 for a spouse that is not aging as gracefully as the other, or one with dementia. So there may be a mix of, and one would be independent and the other may need more extensive services if you're living in that kind of situation. Independent living can still work for you. There are communities with those type of arrangements also. In independent living, you will most likely have a kitchen with the ability to cook in your apartment, but meals like two may also be offered and included in your service on an as-needed basis if you don't feel like cooking. No one will come and check on you unless you request it, and you will be required to take your medication without a reminder also. Some things to look for in an independent living situation is location and ease of visitors to you. Shopping access and medical access are also things to consider. How does the staff interact with the residents? Are they friendly and courteous when addressing the resident? Are there clubs, groups, and committees available if that is what interests you? Are there support services like housekeeping, maintenance, and laundry services? Is security there, and is it around the clock? Is there a nurse there around the clock if something happens? And is it a nurse, an RN, or an LPN? What is the pricing structure for included and a la carte items? Is there a community fee? Then look around. What does the community look like? Is it well maintained and clean? Is there ample parking? Are you free to decorate as you want in your apartment, or are there restrictions? A lot of places, once you move in or decide to move in, will let you pick carpet color, wall color, carpet or hardwood floors, because they usually turn around an apartment. They're usually refixing it or remodeling it prior to the next person moving in. The next type of living arrangement is assisted living. Needing help with activities of daily living, ADLs, is the most common reason seniors choose assisted living environments. Those seeking assistance typically need help with at least 2 everyday tasks. And the reality is that 1 in 5 U.S. adults of age 85 and over say that they either need or currently receive help with activities of daily living, ADLs. Studies show residents' most common ADL needs are 64% need help with bathing, 57% need help with walking, 48% need help with dressing, 40% need help with toileting, 29% need help with bed transfer, 19% need help with eating. Is there a way to get all that kind of help and still be independent as possible? Yes. It's called assisted living. There are almost 29,000 assisted living communities in the U.S. today, so there's a community to fit just about every preference. They can be in a high-rise apartment building, to being a single-family home, and everything in between. The most important part is they offer the care you need in a residential setting. They provide all the meals, transportation, care, and activities to fill your day. They will assist you to and from meals. They will assist you with all of your personal needs, as much or as little help as you require. These communities are more than just providing a helping hand to your loved one. They are the family while you are away. The community and staff are providing quality of life enhancements by their involvement, which makes life easier for the main caregiver, who is usually a loved one. That person can now go back to being a loved one and not a caregiver. This apartment becomes your home, and the people that work there are your extended family. The Genworth cost, Genworth is an insurance company, the Genworth cost of Care Survey 2020 estimates that the national median monthly rate for assisted living is $44.80, which breaks down to about $149 per day. To put that into some context, the same survey says a private room in a nursing home will cost you around $290 per day, $8,820 a month, so almost double what an assisted living would cost. Home health aid services average around $150 a day for a 12-hour shift. You can see what assisted living could cost you in your state at Genworth, at genworth.com. You can pick your apartment or room depending on the type of community you are in. Same holds true if as in independent living, as your space can be a studio or a one-bedroom, usually with your own bathroom. They usually don't offer bigger spaces in assisted living. You might be able to get a one-bedroom with a den, but the apartments can be quite large. I've seen really, really, really large apartments. in assisted living. It will have a modified kitchen with a fridge and cabinets for snacks. Maybe a toaster and a microwave is allowed, but there is no stove for cooking. You'll get all your meals in the dining room or in your room. They can be brought to your room. Laundry will be done in the facility or maybe by family outside of the facility. Your medications will be dispensed by a nurse, and you may have a certain schedule for your showers and personal care. Help will be offered to dress and with your personal needs. Someone may even be checking on you at different times during the night if needed. There are still lots of activities and trips are planned for lunches and possibly shopping trips also. It depends on your level of need whether you are able to participate or not. They will usually have lots of activities all day long, ranging from musical entertainment, exercise, or Wii play to trivia or movies. The same things to look for with assisted living as with independent living. Nursing care around the clock, security, and cleanliness of the community to start with. Some assisted living will offer a respite stay where you can try the community out for, say, 2 weeks or to a month and see if it's a good fit. This is all dependent on bed availability and COVID precautions occurring at any given time. Most contracts at these assisted living communities are month to month. I would encourage any kind of contract to be reviewed by a lawyer, whether you're just staying for a respite stay or whether you're moving into a community for a long term. They also have the ability for a +1 at a lower rate. So if you have a spouse who also requires care, you can both stay together. I have seen 1-bedroom with den apartments at different communities for an assisted living option. Sometimes small pets are also allowed. The next option is a life plan option, or CCRC, Continuing Care Retirement Community, where this type of community offers a full continuum of senior care from independent living to assisted living and skilled nursing. They may also offer home care, memory care, and hospice services. Like I said, it's a full continuum of senior care. These communities are mostly a choice for seniors eager to remain independent and active while also lining up a plan for their future also. Sometimes these communities have a buy-in of a certain amount of money at first. It could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. Then a monthly fee for services you are getting at the time of the affiliation. So if you're in independent living, it could be a fee of $1,000 or $2,000 a month to live there. That one-time fee and monthly payment assures services continue no matter what level is needed moving forward. These types of communities are good for seniors who want a comprehensive senior care community with a variety of options for now and in the future, possibly when one senior is aging at a different pace than the other. The same applies to what to look for in a community: cleanliness, safety, and security. The next type of care you might be looking for is memory care. Memory care, that is for anybody with a diagnosis of dementia or one of the many types of Alzheimer's. These communities are generally a little bit smaller because of the type of client that they have and the care that may be needed for redirection. These communities can also usually handle somebody from an assisted living standpoint needing some care with ADLs, all the way up until death if hospice or a caregiver is involved. As care becomes more extensive, caregiver assistance may be required or the client may have to move to a skilled facility. I have seen this happen. Communities usually have memory care programs that help to maintain the quality of life for someone with a memory loss. Positive Approach to Care is one program. Others have clubs that meet daily and keep the individual within the program all day to challenge and keep them occupied and busy. They offer around-the-clock care and usually a locked environment, so safety is a primary issue. These facilities are usually for people who need around-the-clock supervision and possibly have difficult-to-manage behaviors, such as sundowners, wandering, or aggressive tendencies. They may also have trouble engaging in meaningful activities, which makes their care just a little more challenging. Dementia tends to age us in reverse and return us to an early stage of infancy, which makes care more demanding as the disease progresses. And lastly, the last type of community that we will talk about is a skilled nursing community. This community is for when skilled services are needed. This is for anyone requiring rehabilitation services at a frequency and intensity of at least 5 days per week for at least 60 minutes per day. That's the definition of skilled care. This may just be for rehab after a hospital stay, or these may also include a high level of care needed and are not limited to feeding tubes or tracheostomy tubes for a limited time until weaning or teaching of family members can be completed. Medicare covers up to 100 days of skilled nursing care in a skilled nursing facility for each benefit period, but good luck getting that. My experience has been 2 weeks to 4 weeks of the most of skilled care or rehab. This is the only type of community that is paid for after a hospital stay, is the rehab or skilled nursing. All of these communities are private pay except for skilled care and rehab, which is paid by Medicare. And again, costs for memory care can be upwards of $11,000 a month depending on the facility. The general ranges are for a basic assisted living community, no extra services, are $3,500 to $7,000 a month. In a more assisted memory care, costs could range between $5,000 and $11,000 a month. There is also a new group of seniors that have faced pandemic medical disparity and now are not only looking for placement, but a placement with potential need for Medicaid, paid housing services without the ability to pay themselves right off the mark, which is usually unheard of or unavailable. This Medicaid application requires a long application and a 5-year look back of all your personal funds. I usually recommend that a lawyer does this for you, the Medicaid application. That way they can protect funds that are available for protection. If there's two spouses that are in a situation and one of them is going into care with Medicaid, the other spouse does not have to live in destitution just because one spouse needs care and they can't afford it. So then you have to find availability, to which are designated facilities of supportive living communities, usually with a long wait list of bed availability. Some communities have designated beds for Medicaid funding, and most have a wait list. Sometimes you can be placed with Medicaid pending status, but it is very hard to find availability, especially nowadays post-pandemic. While a Medicaid application is pending, nursing home residents do not receive any payments from the state, so you lose your Social Security for a Medicaid pending resident. However, residents in this status are expected to pay the majority of their income to the nursing home. I believe they're allowed about $30 a month to keep for personal spending, and this gets put into a fund at the nursing home or at the skilled rehab place at the Medicaid facility. This room can also be required to be paid privately for as many months as the person has funding, because Medicaid expects you to expend all of your resources of income, including selling a house if you're single, to pay as much of this as possible as the Medicaid process is being completed. Again, I would encourage you to have a lawyer do this because they know all of the ways to protect your funds and assets without having to deplete all of your resources. So there you have it. If you are unable to stay in your home, there are many options available to you, but most at a large monthly cost. So hopefully you have planned well or have invested in long-term care insurance. These costs can be extreme, but it is worth it to live in a community you feel safe in and can thrive in. In looking for these communities, don't forget your checklist of amenities and things you can't do without. Here is a short list from whereyouLiveMatters.org before you begin. Know what you need. Establish a budget. Determine a location. List your desires. View and visit websites. Read online reviews. Don't forget about Facebook. Facebook presence with a community can be very defining. Ask around. Ask your community, ask around your friends, neighbors, family members if they've had experience with different communities. Make a preliminary contact. Go visit, review, and visit again. Consult an attorney or a private advocate. And on that note, I would like to thank all of you for listening. If you like what you hear, please hit like and subscribe and tell your friends. I would like to thank everyone who helped me take the plunge into this podcast and with all of my dreams I've had in the past 8 years. Remember, I am your private patient advocate, and I'm here at your request to help you navigate the healthcare system one puzzle piece at a time by educating, advocating, and communicating with and for you. I'm here at your request because I am your private patient advocate. Find me on Facebook at Your Request Patient Advocate, and on Instagram at JSKRCURN, and Twitter at RN Advocate, the number 4 and the letter U. Hit like and subscribe and tell a friend.